Every morning, like clockwork, Finn would trot down the quiet suburban street, his golden fur glinting in the early sunlight. He moved with purpose, his tail wagging gently as if he knew exactly where he was going. The residents of Maplewood had grown accustomed to seeing their friendly golden retriever make his way to the bus stop at the corner of Elm and Fifth. He would sit there patiently, his eyes fixed on the road, waiting for something, or someone. Finn wasn't just any dog. He had a story, one that few people knew, but that was about Tochange. Chapter 2. The woman's curiosity. One crisp autumn morning, a woman named Clara noticed Finn sitting at the bus stop. She had seen him there before, always alone, always waiting. Clara was new to the neighborhood, having moved in just a few weeks ago. She was a writer, always on the lookout for interesting stories, and Finn's daily ritual piqued her curiosity. She approached him cautiously, not wanting to startle him. "Hey there, buddy," she said softly, crouching down to his level. Finn turned his head, his warm brown eyes meeting hers. He gave a soft woof, as if acknowledging her presence, but then turned his attention back to the road. Clara sat down on the bench next to him. "What are you waiting for, huh?" she asked, more to herself than to the dog. Finn didn't respond, of course, but Clara felt a strange connection to him. There was something about his demeanor, something sad, yet hopeful. Chapter 3. The Bus Driver's Tale. The next day, Clara decided to wait with Finn. She brought a book with her, thinking she might as well get some reading done while she observed the dog. As she sat there, the bus pulled up and the driver, an older man with a kind face, stepped out to stretch his legs. "You're new around here, aren't you?" the driver asked, noticing Clara. "Yes, I just moved in a few weeks ago," she replied. "I couldn't help but notice this dog. He's here every day, just waiting. Do you know why?" The bus driver sighed, his expression softening as he looked at Finn. "That's Finn," he said. "He's been coming here every day for the past 2 years. Clara's eyes widened. 2 years? Why? The bus driver hesitated, as if weighing whether or not to tell the story. Finally, he sat down on the bench next to Clara. "It's a sad story," he began, "but I think you should know. Chapter 4. Finn's past. 2 years ago, Finn had been a happy, energetic puppy, full of life and love. He belonged to a young boy named Tommy, who lived just a few blocks away. Tommy and Finn were inseparable. They did everything together, playing in the park, going for walks, and even riding the bus to school every morning. Tommy was a bright, cheerful boy, but he had a heart condition that made life difficult for him. He couldn't run and play like other kids, but Finn didn't care. The dog was always by his side, offering comfort and companionship. Every morning, Tommy and Finn would walk to the bus stop together. Tommy would get on the bus, and Finn would sit there, watching as the bus drove away. Then, in the afternoon, Finn would return to the bus stop, waiting patiently for Tommy to come home. But one day, Tommy didn't come home. Chapter 5. The accident. It was a rainy afternoon, and the roads were slick. Tommy's bus was on its way back from school when a car, speeding through the intersection, lost control and slammed into the side of the bus. The impact was devastating. Several children were injured, and Tommy didn't make it. Finn was waiting at the bus stop, as he always did, when the news spread through the neighborhood. The bus driver, who had been driving the route that day, was the one who had to break the news to Tommy's family. It was the hardest thing he had ever done. But Finn didn't understand. He didn't know why Tommy wasn't coming home. So he kept waiting. Day after day, he returned to the bus stop, hoping that Tommy would step off the bus and greet him with a smile. Chapter 6. The neighborhood's efforts. At first, the neighbors tried to take Finn home. They would coax him with treats, tried to lead him away from the bus stop, but Finn always returned. He was determined to wait for Tommy, no matter how long it took. Over time, the neighborhood came to accept Finn's daily ritual. They would bring him food and water, and some even sat with him for a while, keeping him company. But no one could replace Tommy in Finn's heart. The bus driver, who had witnessed the bond between Tommy and Finn, made it a point to stop at the bus stop every day, even if no one was getting on or off. He would pat Finn on the head, give him a treat and offer a few kind words. It was his way of honoring Tommy's memory and showing Finn that he wasn't alone. Chapter 7. Clara's Decision. Clara listened to the bus driver's story with tears in her eyes. She couldn't imagine the pain Finn must have felt, losing his best friend and not understanding why he was gone. But she also felt a deep sense of admiration for the dog's loyalty and love. "I want to help him," Clara said, her voice firm. "I want to give him a home." The bus driver smiled sadly. "That's a noble thought," he said. "But Finn's heart belongs to Tommy. I'm not sure he'll ever be ready to move on." Clara nodded, but she wasn't deterred. She had always been a firm believer in the power of love and patience. If anyone could help Finn heal, it was her. Chapter 8. A New Beginning. Clara started spending more time with Finn. She would bring him treats, sit with him at the bus stop, and even take him for walks around the neighborhood. At first, Finn was hesitant. He would still return to the bus stop every day, waiting for Tommy. But slowly, he began to warm up to Clara. One day, Clara decided to take Finn to the park. It was a beautiful afternoon, and the park was filled with the sounds of children laughing and playing. Finn's ears perked up at the sound, and for the first time in a long while, he seemed to relax. He ran through the grass, chasing after Abel Clara had brought, his tail wagging furiously. It was a small step, but it was progress. Clara knew that Finn would never forget Tommy, and she didn't want him to. But she also believed that he could learn to love again, to find joy in life once more. Chapter 9. The healing process. As the weeks turned into months, Finn began to change. He still visited the bus stop every day, but he no longer stayed there for hours. Instead, he would sit for a little while as if paying his respects, and then return home with Clara. The neighborhood noticed the change too. They saw the light return to Finn's eyes, the spring in his step. It was as if he had finally found a new purpose, a new reason to be happy. Clara continued to write, but now her stories were filled with hope and healing. She wrote about Finn, about Tommy, and about the power of love and loyalty. Her words touched the hearts of many, and soon Finn's story became known far beyond the borders of Maplewood. Chapter 10. A legacy of love. Finn lived a long, happy life with Clara. He never forgot Tommy, and neither did the neighborhood. A small memorial was erected at the bus stop, a plaque with Tommy's name and a picture of him and Finn together. It served as a reminder of the bond they shared, a bond that not even death could break. As for Clara, she found a new sense of purpose in life. She had set out to help Finn, but in the end, he had helped her just as much. Through him, she had learned the true meaning of love, loyalty, and resilience. And so, every morning, as the sun rose over Maplewood, Finn would sit at the bus stop, not out of sadness but out of love. He was a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of loss, there is always a reason to keep going. And Clara would sit beside him, her heart full, knowing that she had been a part of something truly special. Epilogue. The end of the wait years. Later, when Finn finally passed away, The entire neighborhood came together to honor him. They gathered at the bus stop, sharing stories of the loyal dog who had touched so many lives. Clara stood at the front, her eyes filled with tears, but her heart full of gratitude. "Finn taught us all so much," she said, her voice steady. "He showed us that love never dies, that loyalty is forever. He may be gone, but his spirit will always be with us." And as the sun set over Maplewood, casting a golden glow over the bus stop, it was clear that Finn's legacy would live on. He had waited for Tommy, but in the end he had found a new family, a new home, and a new reason to keep going, and that, Clara thought, was the most beautiful story of all. Chapter 11. The New Arrival. Few months after Finn's passing, Clara found herself at the local animal shelter. She had been feeling a void in her life since Finn's departure, and she knew that another dog could never replace him, but she also knew that Finn would want her to share her love with another furry friend. As she walked through the rows of kennels, her eyes landed on a small, scruffy terrier mix with a wagging tail and bright eyes. The dog's name was Max, and he had been abandoned by his previous owners. Clara felt an instant connection with him, much like she had with Finn. She adopted Max and brought him home, introducing him to the neighborhood. Max quickly became a beloved figure in Maplewood, and Clara found herself smiling more often, her heart slowly healing from the loss of Finn. Chapter 12. The memorial garden in honor of Finn and Tommy. Clara decided to create a memorial garden at the bus stop. She enlisted the help of the neighborhood, and together they planted flowers, installed a bench, and placed a small statue of a golden retriever sitting patiently. The garden became a place of reflection and remembrance. People would stop by to sit on the bench, read the plaque, and remember the story of Finn and Tommy. It was a peaceful spot, a testament to the enduring power of love and loyalty. Chapter 13. Clara's writing career took off after she published a book about Finn and Tommy. The book, titled Finn's Daily Wait, became a bestseller, touching the hearts of readers around the world. Clara received letters from people who had been inspired by Finn's story, many of whom had experienced their own losses and found solace in the tale of the loyal dog. Clara used the proceeds from the book to start a foundation in Finn's name, dedicated to helping abandoned and neglected animals find loving homes. The foundation also provided support for children with heart conditions in honor of Tommy. Chapter 14. A new generation years passed, and the neighborhood of Maplewood continued to thrive. New families moved in, and children played in the park where Finn once ran. The memorial garden remained a cherished spot, and the story of Finn and Tommy was passed down from one generation to the next. Clara, now an elderly woman, would often sit in the garden with Max by her side. She would tell the story of Finn to anyone who would listen, her eyes sparkling with memories of the golden retriever who had changed her life. Chapter 15. The final chapter. As Clara's life drew to a close, she found peace in knowing that Finn's legacy would live on. The foundation she had started continued to grow, helping countless animals and children. The memorial garden remained a place of beauty and reflection, a symbol of the enduring bond between a boy and his dog. On the day Clara passed away, the neighborhood gathered once more at the bus stop. They shared stories of Clara, of Finn, and of Tommy, their hearts full of gratitude for the love and lessons they had left behind. And as the sun set over Maplewood, casting a golden glow over the memorial garden, it was clear that the story of Finn's daily wait was far from over. It was a story of love, loyalty, and unbreakable bonds that connect us all. Epilogue. A new beginning. In the years that followed, the story of Finn and Tommy continued to inspire new generations. The memorial garden became a place of pilgrimage for those who had heard the tale, and the foundation Clara had started flourished, touching countless lives. Max, now an old dog himself, would often sit in the garden, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of a life well lived. He had become a symbol of hope and resilience, much like Finn before him. And so the legacy of Finn's daily wait lived on, a testament to the power of love, loyalty, and the enduring bonds that connect us all. It was a story that would never be forgotten, a story that would continue to inspire and heal for generations to come.